Namaskar. Before we begin this session, I would like to bring to your notice that the information utility as a concept is unique. There's no parallel anywhere in the world. It is, in fact, an Indian innovation. And we should all be proud of it. In the same way, we are proud of, say, the UPI or our own COVID vaccine. Now, to begin this session, there are 4 pillars of the IBC. And as we can see in red, information duty is regarded as one of the pillars. It is a legal cum credit repository. And it is attributed to removal of asymmetry of information between debtor and creditor and between creditors. There are 3 key features of the information utility. Of course, it's digital. There's very high governance standards. The chairperson is an independent director. The majority of directors are independent directors. No one entity can have more than 10% shareholding. There are time norms for all the services provided by the information utility, and these are there on the website. Now about national e-governance services. It is the first and only information utility registered by IBPI. It was incorporated in June 2016, and it has 16 shareholders, majority of whom are banks, the insurance companies, and 1 depository, and 65% shareholding is held by public sector entities. The code provides that IU dispense core services. These core services are accepting electronic submission of financial information in such form and manner as may be specified, safe and accurate recording of financial information, authenticating and verifying the financial information submitted by a person, and providing access to information stored to persons as may be specified. Now, there are financial and operational credits. What is the difference between them? A financial creditor is any person to whom a financial debt is owed. And financial debt means a debt along with interest which is disbursed against the time value of money. An operational creditor, it means a debt which is owed to a person in respect of provision of goods and services, and this includes dues to the government. Financial information includes record of debt, record of securities, record of default. So how does the process of authentication work? A creditor submits information to the information utility. The information utility provides this information to the debtor. Debtor can accept, authenticate the information. He can also dispute the information. And on receipt of any such responses, the creditor is informed of the same. How does it help the insolvency professional? The insolvency professional in a corporate insolvency resolution process can seek information from the information utility. He can also use the information utility for storage and other purposes. Finally, the reports of the information utility are available to the regulator, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, and also to the adjudicating authority when they require the same. Typically, the adjudicating authority can see the records of the debtor, it can access the record of default. One very useful feature of the information utility is the default alert broadcast. So the IU regulations of IBBI provide that on completion of the process of authentication of default by the debtor, the information utility shall expeditiously communicate the information of default to the creditors of debtor who has defaulted and to the parties sureties to the debt in respect of which the information of default has been received. Why is this useful? It is useful because it provides an early warning to all creditors of instant stress in the company. It could also alert them of a likely insolvency action in respect of the corporate debtor. So this is a very useful information which is there for all creditors. It can help them initiate insolvency. It can also help them take other measures to protect the interest. A useful service which is provided by the information utility is claim verification to insolvency professionals. Now, the code gives authority to insolvency professional to access information from the IU. The IU can support the insolvency professional in the following way. After receipt of claims, he can compare the data with that in the IU. If any creditor has not submitted its claims, the IP can take it up with the creditor for submission of the claims. In case of any discrepancy, the IP can also take up with the creditor and ascertain the reasons for the same. If the CD commonly, which is the abbreviation for the corporate debtor, if it records a dispute in the information utility, this would give an alert to the insolvency professional who can seek additional information to verify the claim. The insolvency information utility also provides VDR and auction services under the PDA services empaneled by IBBI. The information utility also provides data storage services. The way it is structured is that the insolvency professional can store the data with the IU for the entire duration of 8 years, and the cost for this entire duration of 8 years can be paid in advance, and it can be treated as part of insolvency resolution process cost or liquidation process cost. Another useful feature of the information utility is the debt query report. So this is a facility by which financial creditors can find out if there are any debts which are there in the CD, and this can be ascertained from the information in the IU. So this report displays the past authentication performance of the party as debtor, expressed in terms of percentages, shows the behavioral pattern of the debtor. The report also gives the status of the party's registration with the IU. How is this useful? It is useful for initial screening during credit evaluation or during renewal. A full debt exposure report can be requested if it is found that debt exists with other creditors. Now, besides the debt query report, Information utility also provides what is called a credit facility report. It is also called a 360 degrees credit facility report because it gives the credit history of the borrower for all financial and operational debt. And this could be in the capacity as debtor, co-obligant, or guarantor in any debt. It also gives the authentication status of each debt as well as the overall authentication behavior. This credit facility report is digitally signed by the IU, and its content therefore cannot be altered or modified. Hence, the digital output can be treated as very authentic as well as reliable. It can also be directly downloaded by the debtor. So the debtor can download the credit facility report and share it with any third party. This could be any bank with whom it is requested for credit facilities or enhancement of existing credit facilities. Besides the debtor, even the creditor can download the report. But for that, the debtor has to give electronic consent, and this consent can also be arranged through the IU. So what are the possible use cases of this credit facility report? It can be used for extending a new credit facility. It can also be used whenever an existing bank is considering enhancement of credit facilities. Similarly, it can also be used by the debtor's auditor. NeSL also offers something which is known as digital document execution. What does it entail? It entails dematerialization of the document execution and customer acquisition transactions. It also entails online stamp duty payment and receipt of the stamp certificate. It ensures optimization of financial and human resources on account of adoption of paperless green processes. It supports the information needs of loan exchange platforms. It also serves as a repository for digital loan documents. The unique advantage of this facility is that there is no requirement for physical storage, and both the executants of documents, the debtor and creditor, can access this in a digital mode. To sum it up, the brief features are generation of agreements in DMAT form. It also has cashless payment of stamp duty. Of course, it's a digital execution of documents by the borrower. It's also a digital execution of borrow by the lender. And it facilitates auto upload of agreement in NeSL IU, and where it can be stored and it can be retrieved both by debtor as well as creditor. Now, there are various advantages of digital document execution. The biggest advantage, of course, is the immense cost reduction, because there's no requirement of physical storage of documents. There's no requirement of the borrower coming to the branch only to execute the documents. If there are multiple documents, there's no requirement of all the executants of the documents to come together, or the documents to be sent to each of them. In fact, it's generally estimated that the cost in the digital document execution are only 1/10 of that of physical contracting. The other big advantage is safety and security. It helps in reduction in the number of frauds. It is a fully secure and online. There are 3 modes of signing. It can be done through Aadhaar e-sign, it can be done through a dongle-based DSC, and even a biometric authentication has been facilitated. There is facility of password-protected PDF. The other advantage is that of speedy processing. There is time storing in stamping, execution, storage, and retrieval of physical documents. It is a fully online process. Nobody has to travel. Documents can be executed to the comfort of one's homes. There is quick e-stamping, and there is absolutely no manual intervention. Finally, another big advantage of digital document execution is the process uniformity. So DDE, with a click rather than signing documents and several page signing, there is uniform process for all banks across all states and platforms. So one can easily say that DDE eliminates the requirement of physical presence for signing contracts. And that's why we can say that DDE facilitates the ease of doing business. Some of the DDE stats I present before you. Total number of DDE transactions has been over 5,50,000, out of which total number of e-stamp transactions have been around 3,99,453. Total sanction amount of loans through the DDE paperless e-stamp is 2,91,957 crores. The highest loan sanction amount has been 3,790.87 crores. Now, that brings me to a unique feature of the DDE, that it can be used across all customer segments. So it can be used for the large corporate borrower, as we can see that a loan amount of almost 4,000 crores has been executed through this platform. Total number of secured loan transactions which have been executed are 2,70,705.50 crores. And total number of unsecured loan sanctions have been around 21,251 crores. So we can see here that both secured and unsecured transactions have been done through the DDE mode, and that increases the potential of such transactions. Whether a transaction can be done through the DDE or not, so there's a 3-point check. The first check is that it should be permissible under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. The second check is that it should be permitted under the laws of the government of the state which has permitted such stamping. And the third check is that it should be permitted under the Information Technology Act 2000. So since a DDE goes through such checks, certain transactions cannot be done as of now. For example, a mortgage transactions cannot be done under digital document execution platform. But hypothecation transaction can be done. In fact, vehicle loans are a very large segment of loans which have been sanctioned through this mode. Finally, I would like to bring a very unique statistic about DD transactions is a large volume of transactions which are taking place outside of banking hours. So that means customers can execute documents in the convenience of their home at a time or day which is convenient to them. So we can see from this data that on holidays, Saturday and Sunday, 8.82% of all transactions have happened. During non-working hours, 6 p.m. to 8 a.m., 11% of transactions have happened. So this again brings to the fore the importance, the convenience of DD when we can do transactions at our very own convenience without being limited to banking hours or having a requirement of going to a bank. In fact, many banks have implemented platforms where the loan sanction disbursement can happen seamlessly through a mobile app. As we can see, DD is a very unique product in the sense that it can be done anytime, anywhere. Sanction disbursement can be done through the online mode, and it is a totally seamless journey. Now, if you see the number of DD transactions which have been done, this is for the period from 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2022. This is a breakup of number of transactions by numbers. So as can be rationally thought, personal loans, they constitute the maximum number, which is 52%. And we also have other kinds of loans like Insta loans, Siddhi Prayas, government schemes, vehicle loans. We also have working capital, term loan, cash credit, and other categories of loans. This is a bifurcation by way of numbers. And understandably, the loans which are in the personal segment constitute the largest number. But DDE can be used across all customer segments and across any kind of loan amounts. So we have the smallest of loans under the street vendor scheme or the largest of loan to one of the largest corporates. So all kinds of loans have been sanctioned and disbursed through this platform. Now I also give you some statistics about the loan disbursement by way of amount. Now if you see the amount wise breakup, so here maximum segment is the non-individual segment. So as we can see, working capitals comprise the largest segment, and term loans also comprise a large segment of 16%, and we also have cash credit of 16%. And a very interesting observation is that the emergency credit line guarantee scheme, which has been an extremely popular scheme, especially in the times of COVID, it brought a lot of relief, especially to the MSME segment. We see that this emergency credit line guarantee scheme has also been done through this platform. And going forward, there are various enhancements which are also proposed under the DD product. So we are likely to launch the electronic bank guarantee. So this is at the final stages of implementation. Testing is going on, and very hopeful that by the end of this month or early next month we should launch this product. And this is a very unique product. There was a demand from this from banks, from beneficiaries, because it facilitates issue of guarantees. It facilitates also, the beneficiaries also facilitated, they can get guarantees in quick time. There's also a module for invocation of these guarantees. So going forward, DD is a very good product. As I said, it can be done across all customer segments. It can also be used for guarantees. So in that sense, it can become a central repository of all guarantees. So NeSL can become a central repository of all guarantees. So whenever you want to see how many guarantees have been issued by a corporate debtor, this information can be there at a glance. Similarly, for electronic bank guarantees, once this is implemented, at one place we can get all the bank guarantees which are issued. Contingent liabilities are the major challenge in the corporate insolvency resolution process. So NeSL IU can provide a solution to this. I am very grateful to you for your patient hearing. I hope you find this session useful. If you do have any feedback, I would be most happy if you can reach out to me at my email ID md@nesl.co.in. Thank you so much.